Hi parents, I thought I would give you a little walkthrough on Google Classroom. I asked, because my side of Google Classroom is different than the student's side, so I asked permission from a couple of my students, and Avery was kind enough to say, yes, Mrs. Cartwright, I'm more than happy to allow you to use mine, log in and use mine. So I'm going to pull up Avery's Google Classroom and we're gonna walk through. So I highly suggest that if you haven't done so already, is on whatever computer that you tend to use, is to go ahead and have your student log into their Google and have that profile, their class Google, their school Google, and have that profile saved onto your computer in Chrome or whatever you use. I say this, I do this with my own kids. And the reason is so that I can go and check and see their list of what's due, what's coming up, what needs to be done. And so then this could be one way that you could check in on your student, but allowing them to also feel autonomous for what they're doing. So I have, when I first go to Google Classroom, this is what we see, or what your students see. It's all of their classes. And if you notice that it will list any assignments that are getting ready, or that are undone, not done, in their list, and when it is due. And so that's a nice quick way to look at what are things that I need to do. There's also a way for students to just open their work from here and see what work they need to do, or to get into the folder for Math 8 Purple 1 or whatever class they're looking at. I'm going to go ahead and enter my classroom. And so the first thing that your student, when they click on the class, is they see what's called the stream. And in the stream, that's where teachers can make announcements. Sometimes students can be having a discussion. Mine's mostly just made for announcing things, reminders, week 2 recap. I actually have done a wrap-up recap of the week. Each Friday I try to post those, and just reminders, like Friday's reminders of what all is due by the end of that day, so things like that. There is a way to have Google Classroom email you reports about what's going on. The stream does not show up in that report, but things that get posted in classwork does. So in classwork, this is where they'll find all their resources. So the video links, the notes pages if they want to use them. That's where they find their assignments. And that includes, I've started listing MathXL assignments on Google Classroom, and the reason being is so students have a list of all of their assignments for math for the week in one place, and not, okay, well, there were these things that had to be done in Google Classroom, and then I had to remember to go and do these things in MathXL. This gives them one list in one place, and then if they need to go to MathXL or a different website, then it's here, they know they need to go there, and then they can go there and then come back and mark it as done as needed. So over to the left is a list of all the topics. I've done my best to keep things under topics so that it's easy for students to find what they're needing. As you can see here in resources, they can come back and look at the syllabus. That's where Zoom links are for our Tuesday and Thursday Q&A sessions. Any chapter 12, chapter 13 exit ticket that needs to be done, or test, this is where they would go fill this out to complete that. If they have questions that they would like to ask, but they're not going to make it to the Q&A session, or they really don't want to ask in front of others, they can ask through the question form, and then I'll answer it in the Q&A session, or if it's a quick answer, I'll answer it on the response form itself. And then a scientific calculator if your student is needing a scientific calculator. The most current week that we are working on will always show up right underneath resources. And if you notice, we have one bright pink one and all the rest are grayed out. And the reason for that is this bright pink one is an assignment she hasn't completed. And so this allows a quick glance to know, for students to know, oh, this is something I need to do and I haven't done. And so she can click on here. Once she has, this is a MathXL assignment. So once she has completed the MathXL, she'll come in and she'll mark it as done. And that's that assignment. That's all that it is. Once they go and they do their MathXL assignment, when they complete it, they come and mark it as done. Why am I having them do this? For two reasons. One, again, so that all of their assignments are in one place and they have one list of all assignments. The second one is if a student does the assignment late, then this is how, turning that in is how I am notified that the assignment is turned in late. MathXL doesn't send me notifications of, oh, so-and-so turned assignment in late. And so this is how I'm going to get that notification to go and grab that late grade for another student. Excuse me. Lately, we've been doing daily questions. These are just fun questions for me to continue to get to know and reach out and have that social interaction with your students. So like today was Wild Wednesday. If you could be any animal, what would you be? We've done what do you wish to make, or what would you like to be able to make at some point? Time Hop Tuesday. So they're just kind of fun things. They don't have to deal with math, that allow students to kind of have that moment that we're missing because we're not getting to interact with each other in the classroom. And there are times that I respond back to them on those. But that's what that Google question in their Skyward, that's what that is. And then as you keep going, the other weeks show up. If your student is needing, and all of these topics, as you continue going, that's what is down. As your students need passcodes, or if they need passcodes, you click on this whatever chapter they're needing. This will just take you straight to that topic, so you don't have to scroll. And then you have access to the passcodes. So there's chapter 5 passcodes, chapter 13 passcodes, chapter 12 passcodes. And so that's, if your student's needing a password for a late assignment, that's where they need to go to get those passcodes. Other than that, these view the works, that's where students can go to see grades, to make sure that they've turned things in, to make sure, to see what's assigned, etc. So if you click on here, you can filter it, so filtered to what's assigned, and it has its due dates, return with a grade, and so it'll have the grades with those. Anything that's missing, it'll pop up so that they can see that list. And it's just a nice way. You could ask them to pull that up for you, so that you can see what's missing and what they need to get in. I hope that this has helped, or I've covered the topics that will help you help your student. There was, I guess, one thing I was going to mention. If your student feels like they need extra practice, in MathXL, on the left-hand side, there's a student menu. They don't have all these options, but they have these options. It says study plan. And with their benchmarks, I create study plan. Well, MathXL creates the study plans based on the objectives that are in the benchmark. And so they, like, if they're needing help with this week's benchmark, they can go ahead and there's already extra practice built in for them to work on the skills that will be on that week's benchmark. They're also welcome to reach out to me if they're needing help. I'm happy to oblige. If they're wanting to retake a benchmark, about Sunday night, Monday morning, I make it to where if you look, week 3 says, oh, you've earned 0 out of the 9 mastery points. It's because it's open and everyone can take the benchmark. But if you look at week 2, it does not give me that message, and it says that I need to earn at least 10 mastery points to begin that benchmark. And so to do that, I have to do these quiz me's, which give me that practice within a quiz setting. Once I hit the 10, the benchmark reopens and the student can retake their benchmark. And they just have to go back into Google Classroom and resubmit, and then Google Classroom will notify me that they retook their benchmark, and I will go back and grab their better grade. But again, study plans will help them to, or are in place so that they can do their retakes, and is there for extra practice if they're not feeling like they're confident in the skills. So I want to say, and I know Avery's probably not going to watch this video, but I want to say thank you to Avery again for allowing me to use her Google Classroom. Please, if there's anything that you need, reach out. We are all willing to help in whatever way that we can. So I miss your kiddos. And as I tell them in every video, until next time.